Oh, we are live. Incredible. Oh, what's happening here? Hold on one second. Why is it? All right, there we go. Haha. Alrighty, incredible afternoon. How are you guys doing today? I'm on just a regular old lazy Sunday. I had to come into the office because someone tried to get my other account. Still fighting and battling with my first account, and then some other stuff happened. So I had to come in here so that I can do some authentication and scan some stuff. And yeah, now I'm trying to download information from my other Facebook account. So while that's downloading, each download is taking about 20 minutes, and there's 5 of them. I am on download number 3. So um I will be on and we can chat and learn. You can ask questions of moi while I am on. And yeah, until all of these things download and or 1:30, because I have to drop MJ off somewhere at 1:30. So whichever comes first. All right. I had to make sure I changed the privacy on this post. That way it can be shared out. All right, hold on. Let's share this out. Oh, come on. All right. Let's go ahead and get this copied. Select all, copy and paste. We'll post. All right, there we go. All right. So again, hello everyone. How are you guys doing? These camera settings are insane. Oh, you looked at, okay, so hi, I'm learning my Samsung Ultra camera settings. These camera settings are insane. Yes, if you go into pro mode, there's so many things there. So if you don't know how to, I'm sorry that I'm on this screen. I came in here to just authenticate something, and then I saw that they were giving me the option to download the information from my other Facebook account. So I decided to sit here, but I did not come into the office camera ready. So it's on my screen. But so it has things on there like ISO, shutter speed, like when you're in pro mode. If you don't understand what those are, like white balance and all of that, watch shows about DSLR cameras. So they'll break down like your ISO, your aperture, your white balance, and then that way you can figure out, or you can just simply play around with it and get it to the colors that you want. So yeah, it is absolutely like cameras nowadays have a lot of pro features, just like DSLR cameras. You just got to know how to work them. So, all right. So, good morning. Good morning. Wait, are we still in the morning? Well, if you're on anywhere other than the East Coast, you're in the morning, but we're in the afternoon now. Yes, I just looked at the director view and it's amazing. Exactly. Also, like if you go into portrait mode, you can get the one, like you can adjust the settings to where like your background is kind of blurred out and you really put emphasis on what's in the foreground. It's absolutely amazing. That's how I take a lot of my yard signs. is I will fade out the back and then make the foreground more pronounced. Hey, just say you're in California. Yeah, y'all are definitely still in the morning time. All right. I'm gonna go through. I gotta close out some of this stuff in Silhouette, so we'll just look at my Silhouette screen for now. But again, this is it's a open Q&A. Like I said, just chill, chat, learn whatever you want to learn. Within reason. If I'm able to show it like while I'm on, feel free to go ahead and um post your questions. Okay. I gotta go through. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff on here. I just need to close out. All right, did I already save this one? Oh gosh, I don't know if I saved. Okay, this has both of those files. So just in case I didn't save it right, let's copy you over to the other file, baby. Oh, you know what? If I go undo, it might reveal the rest of the file. If I did, haha, there it is right there. I knew it had to be on here. Just in case I didn't save it right. All right, so we're going to save this one and close out of it. We don't need this one. So you guys got to close out some of these files just in case you guys have Silhouette questions. I don't want it to crash on me. So let's close out some things. These are all things I was working on this weekend. All right, so this one I don't need. I think I had to save it as a single file to take it over to my rolling. So that's why I had to have that extra file there. Happy Sunday. And let's actually go up here. Let's go in and good morning, Miss Cheryl. Thank you for being the first to comment. Danny, how art thou? Let's see. And Vanessa and Joanna. Hello. Thank you guys for clicking on and deciding to spend a little time with the professor. Incredible afternoon, colorful Kia. Different way to spell Kia. I spell mine Keya. Well, obviously, well, it's also in my name that way. So Shakia, it's actually spelled Keya. Key, Keya. There we go. But my nickname is Keyki. So it started out a bit, worrisome because I was blocked out of my other Facebook for a minute. Then I had to come in and just do some authentication. I'm still praying that I get access to my original account because my Facebook page, Sillaholics Anonymous, is attached to that one. And I would hate to lose all of the work that I put into growing and building Sillaholics Anonymous. But I got a little worried this morning. So yours is spelled that way too. Okay, cool. I am on YouTube all the time. Like, oh, you need to YouTube more. Yes, you definitely do, so that you can get your watch hours up and have it where, like, you do some pretty cool things over on that TT app. So it would be great to kind of have those in a way where they're stored and someone can go back and review them. So yes, you definitely need to either download your content and put it over on YouTube, or create some actually YouTube content. Later. Okay, so let's see. Let's go back through here. This was a really, really long day for me. I had to recreate this one. I mean, that's one of theirs, but it was just too blurry. So this was their old one. This one is on their website, but their colors are more like this than they are like this. So I had to recreate it where I traced it so I can fill it in with these colors. This one I already had. This one I already had. This one I already had. I had to recreate this from scratch. From scratch. I had the worst time last night trying to get my images to into the print square. It was printing only partial of the print. I have professional. You have professional. Do you mean you have the business edition? See, on this side, I had to pull this from a banner. This is when I redid. I had to create a vector file of this one, had to create a vector file of this one, had to recreate this one. Like I had to do a lot of stuff for these. It was absolutely insane the amount of stuff I had to do for this. People are sending me inboxes, and unfortunately, I cannot even answer them. I can't even answer messages on my business account, which so sucks. Okay, why are you not? All right. I think it froze on me. I was trying to avoid, I wanted to be able to save everything because I left a lot of stuff open and I was trying to get it to save and now it's just frozen. All right. So while that's there, let's see. Yes, business edition. So you have to remember, like if you are a lot of people they'll go and they'll hit print. They'll see the print preview from like from Silhouette Studio and think that they have done something wrong. Guys, I've said it once. I want to repeat it as many times as I can. Ignore the print preview. You can even turn the print preview off. Silhouette Studios print preview is not an accurate representation of how it will print because it will go off of your last print setting. So if you are changing the page size, like it was set to 8.5 by 11 or 12 by 12, and now you're printing to 11 by 17, 13 by 19, 8.5 by 14. If it was in portrait mode and you're now in landscape, it's going to show differently. So you can simply ignore the print preview. When you hit print, it does not send it to your printer. It will open up your preferences for like your actual print settings. Don't click where it says settings. You're still not going to get an accurate representation. And when you go to print, it's still going to bring up the preferences. So you're going to go to preferences. You're going to put in your parameters for like what size paper you're using, what print settings you want, and then you can hit print. On your print settings, there is a print preview there. That print preview will give you an accurate look at how it will print out. But ignore Silhouette Studios print preview. Just hit print. So I'm not sure if that's the part you're talking about where it's showing partial when you go to print preview. We sold these at cheer competition. As far as selling the files, no, I am not. Come on, Silhouette, what are you doing? It's frozen. Okay, there it is. And this is something that like this. I try to watch what I say sometimes, but things like this, guys, this is something that's really easy to create. Certain things does not warrant you guys purchasing a file at all. All you have to do is spend a little bit of time and you can create the file. Certain things you should not be looking to purchase a file. There are certain things that I will not sell a file on. I will teach you how to make it in a heartbeat before I charge you for a file. Something like that doesn't even take a long time to do. You just have to, like, if it's like, let's say if you're wanting to do it for a sports team, you, of course, you're doing it at your own risk. You just have to find their logo and then do a trace and detach of it if it has a background to it. The way the word let's is, I mean, it is 2 offsets and then you make it a compound path. The go is split text. I showed that in a video. I'll be more than happy to show it here. But for certain things, you guys definitely should not be purchasing files. You should, spend a little bit of time and, learn to create these. It helps, especially simple files like this. It helps you learn the program a little bit better. Now, I remember you saying this before. Thank you so much. I printed on those lunch totes. Oh, I'm printing on those lunch totes. Awesome. Oh, excuse me. Hello to all those who have just joined. This is a general Q&A, guys. It's not an actual class. I am sitting here. Oh, wait, I have to download the next one. I just needed to download some files. And I figured I will come on with you guys while I download this. Each file is taking like 20 minutes. I have 2 more files to do, so by the end of the month, I will be able to start watching all of my videos again and really start to work on learning to use what I learned to design. Awesome. Have you done baseball jerseys for a whole youth team? Was it easy to do if you have? No, I've never done baseball jerseys. I don't have any really connections when it comes to baseball. I did a set of, no, it wasn't like for like an actual team, but my cheerleaders, I got like, they were kind of like baseball-ish type jerseys. And I put Wonder Girls on the back. No, Wonder Girls, I think, on the front. I think I had an 8 in the back because we were 8U, and then I had something else on it. I had like their names and stuff like that. I think I had their names on it. So I did that for my team. And it's just vinyl. So I'm not sure. For me, if it's vinyl is the same for me, whether it's on a shirt, a sweatshirt, a jersey, a baseball jersey, whatever it is, it's going to be the same process as to heat press them on. So for me, I don't see anything as being like different from the next, so like if I've done a whole set of shirts for a school. I did their spirit shirts. I did 100 and the first run was like 135, and then there was like more afterwards. So I think I ended up doing a total of maybe like closer to 200 of the shirts front and back for an elementary school. And I use screen print transfers for those. So it's just a matter of press and go. It's probably like just the method that you're doing. I've done, let's say a baseball team, if it's like 20 kids, 25, I've done 25 shirts in sublimation. I've done that with vinyl. I have not done like all overs because I'm not one that's really big on like the all overs. So I'm not sure if that's what you're saying, like to do a set of all like an all over print for a jersey that's already put together. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking. But I've done large orders before, and to me, they're pretty much the same. Hello from Filet. Professor, could you take a moment and provide some input regarding sublimation printers when it's time for me to move up? Because now I know I want to continue sublimation for my business. What printer do you have now? Because you're saying when it's time to move up. I know of a company, and based off of like what they do, it's better for them to have several smaller printers. So they have anywhere from 8 to 10 small format sawgrass printers, because that's better for their production to be able to run different designs on each printer versus having one big, like one or two large printers. So it really just depends on what it is that you're doing. You know, for some, having a larger printer may be beneficial, but like, you know, you might be someone that's like, okay, well, I don't need a 24-inch because I don't want to do things that are actually 24-inch prints or 36-inch prints. I'm okay with, you know, having several 13 by 19s or even several, 13-inch wise or 8. You kind of have to let me know, like, what is it you're trying to do? When you say you're ready to move up, what exactly does that mean? Okay, so you have a 2760, it went kaput, and so now you need to replace. I want to stay away from Sawgrass because they make you use their ink, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You only have to use their ink for the first year. And then you can use third parties. Now, there's two different types of third-party cartridges. There are ones where they are refillables, and a lot of people want to get into the refillable because they feel like it's a cheaper way to keep up, right? So they have ones that are refillables, and then they have some that are pre-filled, and they're just remanufactured Sawgrass cartridges. So the system will see them as authentic ones, kind of sort of like where you won't get those X's. And you also it doesn't necessarily restrict you from like using other cartridges. It's just that you cannot use their system. If you end up with a color profile and all those things and you're printing from like Photoshop directly, you don't have to go through Sawgrass's system. You only get those marks over your prints if you're going through their print manager. But if you print directly from Silhouette, print directly from Photoshop, directly from Affinity, you don't have those issues. So I know I talk a lot, but this is why a lot of people have misinformation, because they try to appeal to those who just want quick information. And they'll just say, hey, you can't use these cartridges, but they never break down the full scope of it. So people think they can't use third party at all. And that's just not the case. Any Epson printer works for sublimation. Any Epson printer. When you're using EcoTank printers, your colors will vary, and you may have some issues with certain color ranges, but technically any printer can print out sublimation ink, and then you can press that to your substrate. So for 13-inch, there's a lot of options. I am partial to workforces. So the current Epson workforce printers are the 7820, 7840, and 7310. Okay, wait, these are here, so I don't need this one. Wait, hold on, cancel. Hold on, I'm sorry. 7820, 7840, 7310 are the current ones. And then you have a lot of EcoTanks. So you have 16600, 16650. Those are the higher end ones. They are basically $1,000 plus for those, but they are EcoTanks. And then you have the 8550 and the 15,000, which are the other wide format, like 13-inch wide EcoTank printers. And then, of course, the F5 170, which is a 24-inch printer, which is about $2,000. So there's a lot of options out there. You just have to determine like what's going to be best for your budget. Some people try to bypass the workforces because of the whole cartridge and chip situation. If that's how you kind of see it, then you're going to want an EcoTank. And if you want 13 inches, you're looking at a 15,000 for 700, and 8550 for 800 or 900, a 16,600 for 1,000, a 16,650 for 1,100. All right, so the small one is on here. So let's exit out of that one. All right. I have to go back to that one. All right, hold on. All right, there we go. Okay, let's see. Can you provide some insight about those chips and cartridges so I can better understand? I do have full detail videos, but you just fill your cartridges and you change out the chips. All Epson workforce printers, or all cartridge-based printers work off the chip. The printer will never know how much ink is actually in the cartridge, like how much physical ink is in the cartridge. The chip is like a reader. It's like a countdown counter. It stores a certain number of prints. So once that number of prints reaches zero, with the newer ones, you just have to change the chip. You simply slide it off, slide the new one back on. And that's just how it works. With the older models, which of course, if you can find one in a marketplace, or if you're willing to pay $500-600 for one, because someone still has one, they're selling it on Amazon. If you're willing to pay that, with the older ones like the 7710, 7720, you're able to reset those, but you cannot reset the new ones at all. You have to replace the chip. On the set for me, I know I got like 155, and it doesn't really count based off of if it's an 8.5 by 11 or a 13-inch print, or a 13 by 36-inch print, or a 13 by 47. Once you just send something to print, it just counts as a print. When I, checked a set of, I had converted a printer, and I just monitored the number of prints. I got through 155 prints before my black ink went out, and I had to change the chip. But that was a mixture of 8.5 by 11. That was a mixture of some prints that printed, and then I had to stop it because of, whatever. So some incomplete prints in there. That was 8.5 by 11. That was 11 by 17. That was 13 by 19. That was really long prints, me printing to Sublimation paper roll, but it just had 155 prints. And then the cyan went out after 189, or maybe it was like 190 prints. And I still had prints that I could do from my magenta and my yellow. However, I had a big print job. So I just changed out those chips, which I talked about in a video recently. I just changed those chips out just to change them out because I didn't want it to stop in the middle of my big print job. So anywhere from 150 to 100, let's just, bring it down some because it may not be for everyone. So let's just say in between 150 and 175 prints per set, or per cartridge, per chip, is what you'll get from the chips. All right. So you didn't post it on, like, you have to click on the video so that it actually comes up on my screen. If it wasn't for the fact that I had my phone in front of me and the notifications went off, I wouldn't have saw your question item. So whenever I'm live and you guys see me in a group, like, instead of commenting on that post, like, click on the video so it takes you to the actual live and then post your questions. Hold on. 1 second. Okay, there we go. So that I can see it on my screen, because I'm not always, like, my phone sometimes on do not disturb and I don't always hear notifications. But I just so happen to hear yours. So her question is, Professor, since we normally use the cut feature for cameos, when or what is a good example of when to use the cut edge? Well, I don't use cut all the time. Like, I actually do use a mixture of them. Actually, here's, you know what's on screen is actually a good example of sometimes when you would use cut edge. So I'm going to copy both of these and, okay, you know what? Let's go here and even here. So we're going to go copy. All right. I'm going to bring this over here. This is actually I was actually about to close out of this file. So good thing I did see your question, because this is actually a really, really good question. Okay. So this particular, like, file here that I created for the back of a shirt, there's a lot of stuff here, right? So there is the background of the V. There is this inner part, only because I did not. Oh, you know what? I'll show you why. I'm going to actually take this and we're going to go like this, and I'll show you why this is solid. Because if I go like this and make this a compound path, we're going to put you here, and you can see the difference in both, okay? So there's a lot of layering going on here. There's 1, 2, 3. Then I have the outline of the word lady, Then there's the Vikes, and then there's the outline for that. If we were to go to send, oh, it's actually already set, because I put it in a new file. And we were to go and leave this as cut, okay? Oh, God, my eyeball is itchy. Oh, God. I would leave this as cut. Well, this part right here was already set to cut edge. So let's make you cut. So if you have it set to cut, every last bit of this would cut. Okay? Every last bit of it will cut. Oh, it did. Maybe it did show up. Let's see. 114. I'm not sure if you rewrote it, but now I see it. I saw it on the group, but I didn't see it here. So perfect. But now I see it. So everything here would cut. But if I go cut edge, I'm only going to get the edge, right? Oh, wait, hold on. Cut edge, I said. Do I not have everything selected? Okay, wait, let's try this again. Everything is selected. Cut edge. There we go. So it will eliminate all of those cuts, and it's only going to cut the edge because there's a bunch of things layered here. All right. That's one way. Oh, God, my eyeball is itchy. Golly. For the script font, if I go back to design, you're going to see that, like, here, and I did not weld this. This is still in text format. If I wanted to cut something and I wanted it to stay in text format and I did not want to weld it where it's actually connected, when you go to send for something like this, where you have not welded it together, I'm on cut edge, hold on. And we are on cut. It will cut in between the letters. Like, so it'll cut each letter, and like so this has like little glyphs on it. It would cut each one of those. So you would end up with cuts on your letters. But if you set it to cut edge, it's going to cut the edge. Okay. And then there's actually quite a few other ways where cut edge. I'm telling you guys, it's a lot of things that you guys don't know about Silhouette Studio. That it's like simple things, and it's probably tools that you have never thought about clicking on. You've never really explored them. Everything. And I do mean everything. As far as like going through almost every single tool is in this 30-day training. Like for 30 days, I went through it bit by bit by bit, going over tools, showing you what their benefits are, what's their key uses, when you would do X to get Y to get Z. Like it really does have every single thing in it. And it's not about learning to design in Silhouette Studio. My philosophy is you really need to have an understanding of the tools, what they do, so that you can design and also even cut properly once you create your design. So this course and this training is the foundation. It's if you feel like you don't need it, like you know all the tools, you know exactly what every single tool in Silhouette Studio is, where it is, what it does, you may not need this. If you feel like you are okay with designing, or if you're looking more so for a course that's going to teach you designing, then this is not it, because it's not going to go straight through designing. I set this up because a lot of times when I am doing design courses, oh, wait a minute, hold on, what's that? Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Well, this is the foundation. That way we can really focus on designing when I'm in a design class. So this right here breaks things like that down. Let's see. So like on this one, for the top part, it doesn't matter if it's on cut or if it's on cut edge, you're going to have the same results because this is an open edge. That's not a solid color there. That's actually an open area. So it will show the same. But if I select everything and I go cut, you'll see that again, everything cuts. If I go to cut edge, the outside part, all that is just like it is up here, but within this, it's still going to cut this inside piece, which would be good. Like, let's say if I was putting this on like, a white shirt or something like that, I might want it to cut where I didn't have that there or whatever. Or not say a white, if I wanted to put this like on a colored shirt and I wanted that color to come through, like if I put this on a gray shirt, if I wanted that gray to come through there, I could have had that part set to cut. All right. And had that part come through. It's all in just how you have your file set up. Yeah. So yeah, you're going through using layers, or you're using fill color, or you're going to use line, and you're going to go through here. Yeah, you don't have to do all that. You just you leave it on simple, and you just simply set it to cut edge. Thank you. I didn't understand that there was a chip for each color. I appreciate your detailed explanation. I believe she did that video last week on the chips. Yeah, I did. How do I set up for print and cut? You put your design in there, you set your design page, you turn on your registration marks, and you decide how you want it to print. So if I was wanting to do this as a print and cut, I was doing it to 8.5 by 11 paper. Why are you not going back to the design page? There we go. I'm gonna just move this off to the side. I'm gonna make this 8.5. I have a lot of detailed videos on print and cut. So those will probably be more beneficial to you than like this quick explanation. So it's on there. I'm going to set this to, let's just go, because of the size of this, let's just go 11 by 17. So I'm going to set my page size to the size paper that I'm going to print to. You're going to turn on your registration marks. It looks a little bit different depending on which program, which version you are using. I'm on version 4.3.370. We're going to turn those on. I take my thickness up, and we're technically ready to print. And it will cut. So when I go to send, if I wanted to cut around the edge, I'm going to take it and put it to, as you notice here, all these boxes are here. You don't have to group it or anything like that. You're just going to select them all. And oh, wait, it wasn't set to 24 inches. I mean, I'll make it. I'll do it now. I'm just going to set it set to cut edge. That's what we want. And let me go back to my page and make that 17. There we go. Right now, it is not, it's going to cut outside of the line. Like if I put my cut border. This is something where if you are familiar with the program, you can play around with it. Like your print cut, you've mastered cutting it. Messing around with the insets can throw things off, but you can always take your insets out and see now I have more room, and it only works for certain printers. And so now I can put that in there. If you have a printer where you could not change your insets, you can simply just rotate it. Guys, don't be afraid to make your files work for you. So you can rotate it. If I'm going to restore defaults, I always take my thickness up no matter what. I would just rotate it and everything fits in there. So that's all it is for print and cut, is to turn your registration marks on, make sure that your page size matches the size paper that you are printing to, printing it and setting it up on your Mac correctly. And that's it. Let's see. Now I've heard you say version several times. How would I know which version I have? If you go to help, come on, and about, it'll tell you which version you have. So I run version 4.3.370, and I run, well, of course I have business edition, but the version, this is the same no matter if you have designer, designer plus, or business. It has nothing to do with that. That is the version of Silhouette Studio. Now I run the business edition. I have business edition activated, but there is a free version of 4.3.370. Also, cut edge if you're doing stickers. So although this wasn't a sticker, this was just a weed border. If I were doing print and cut for like stickers and I don't want it to cut the inside, and I want it to cut all the way through, I'm going to go cut edge. Send. And then we're going to go to cut edge. So right now it is set to cut everything because I was cutting it from vinyl and I wanted it to cut the outside as well for a weed border. But if I was doing like a sticker, I would just go cut edge and it will just cut the outside and leave this part like this. So you can have business edition in any version. There's a lot of different versions. So you have 4.3, 4.2, 4.4, now 4.5. So business edition is just like it's an upgrade, but for the free, like, so just saying I have business edition, that's always like people, okay, well, which version though? Business edition can be applied to any of them, but there are different ones and they have different features. I started back when it was version 1.9 and then version 2, then went through version 3s, and there was like a lot of version 3s. There was like, 3.1, 3.3, 3.4, all the way up to 3.8. On my laptop, I run 3.6. I think that's like the best version ever. And then they went to 4. They have 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4. Now they're on 4.5. So whenever you hear someone ask you what version are you using, they're really not asking so much. I mean, whether or not you have the basic version, designer plus, and business is important, because then that will let someone know like which tools you have, which tools are available to. Oh, hold on one second. This one finished. Hold on. I got to do this last one. Oh, actually, I got to go, y'all. I have to drop MJ off somewhere. But I got to set this last one to download. Yeah, you keep telling me you're going to save my information, but I'll keep having to put my password in. Yeah, so this one's saying 24 minutes. So what was I going to say? So yeah, that one's downloading. I'm going to get off of here in just a moment. But the version that you have like the upgrade that you have activated will show like what tools you have available to you. So like business edition, in previous versions, you didn't have this whole thing where you can view in all of the other versions. So like if I go to like to 4, even like the earlier 4.3, you couldn't do this. If I were to go like to 4.2, 4.1, or even go back to like version 3, I can't go and toggle through all of the versions to see like, you know, if I'm helping someone, when I'm doing a one-on-one, I can make mine mimic exactly which version they have. That way they're not seeing tools that they don't have, you know? In older versions, you couldn't save. Um, you can, okay, so version 4, you can save files, but version 4.3 gave you the ability to save PNGs. Previously, it was only JPEG, PNG, and no, it was JPEG, SVG, and PDF. And then they added PNG in version 4.3. So each time they updated the system, you got different features, and then each upgrade gets different features as well. All of those questions are answered in the 30-day training, but you are welcome. Yeah, see, you have the pro. So with you having a pro, you have to use version 4.4 or higher. I don't use the pro. I don't care for the pro. So I can use any version. 4.5 just did not work well for me. I didn't like certain things, and maybe it's just because of how often I use and how many tools and how detailed I am when I'm using it. It did not work for me. And then like when it came to my PDFs, it kept crashing, and I use my Silhouette Studio to save files to cut to my rolling cutter, because I have to save it as a PDF, and then I have to take it over to Illustrator to set the cut lines. Well, one time I forgot to save it as a Silhouette file as well. I tried to bring back in the PDF and it kept crashing. So depending on how you use the system, some people will say, well, I don't have any issues with 4.4. I don't have any issues with 4.5. Well, you may not be using it how I use it. And for me, how I use it, it was too many issues, and it just didn't work for me. So I went back to 4.3, but I can do that because I don't have a pro. Incredible afternoon. Incredible afternoon. The 30-day training is where it's at. So many gems. Oh, thank you. All right, we're just waiting for this last one down. Let me text make sure my kid is ready to go. That way I can pick him up and drop him off. Where is my kid's name? I had to make sure MJ's ready because I'm going to pull up to the house. He's jumping the car so I can go drop him off. So he can go to this trampoline park for his friend's birthday. Am I coming back? Unfortunately, no. Hold on one second. Kid not done and don't have his clothes, but he didn't do anything I said as far as his clothes, clean up his room. He gonna be one sad soul. He ain't gonna be able to go. But I doubt it. I'm working on it. I'm trying to debate on whether or not I just want a Dell laptop or if I want a Surface Pro for the house. But then I'm like, man, if I have the Surface Pro, like that's kind of huge to have still at the house. But I took both of them. Like I took all of, because my laptop I have now controls my Roland and my US cutter. So they're both plugged in. That pretty much stays over there unless I really need it for designing something in version 3.6. The company laptop, we can't find the mouse for it, and I can't work without a mouse. That trackpad just don't work for me. So we pretty much just leave it here because it's kind of useless at the house. And I can't stand Even's Mac. So I doubt I will be on, because once I leave the office, I leave the office. We know our whole business operation moved to what we like to call headquarters now. So if I'm not here, I don't really do videos. Right. Any other questions for me? If there are no questions, then I'll go ahead and log off. Let's see. Did I save this? Okay, wait, hold on. All right, that's nothing on that page. No, I don't think I saved this. So let's go Files, Save As, MGV 6. Is it 6U or 7U? I forget which one they are. MGV. I'll just put the only team I did something from 2022 coaches shirt file. Well, you have a splendid day, and I will see you when you return. Oh, thank y'all. Thank you for the flower emoji. How do I get my design from paper to silhouette? So I'm guessing you designed something, like you sketched it out. It really depends on how you designed it. As far as, is it going to be something where you can actually trace it? Did you design it as line art? So for a lot of people, they prefer to take a picture and then they'll upload it to like Procreate, or if you have like Illustrator and ones where you can use a drawing pen, like a drawing tablet. And so that way you can trace the lines out and then you can fill with color. It just really depends on how it was traced out. But what you can do is you can either take a picture of it and then simply open that picture in Silhouette Studio, or you can use your scanner on your printer. Almost every single like regular office desktop Epson. Most people do Sublimation. If you have like a converted printer, they have a scanner, except for the 7110, 7210, and 7310. Pretty much all the other ones have a scanner on it. You can put it on the bed and you can scan it in. Once you scan it in, you would do a trace. If you did it in like, let's say pencil, it would be best to make a copy, go over the lines with a fine tip Sharpie. So not like so like a chisel tip. No, not chisel. Fine point, because not the one with the really skinny. I forget what that one's called, but like the regular like type Sharpie. Go over the lines with a black one and then put it then scan it or take a picture. That way you pretty much treat it. Look at God. I was about to close out of this. Good question, right time. So although it won't be as clean as this, it's going to be basically line art, and then you would be able to trace it. And then separate it to fill it in with color. Just do a Google search. Select trace area, place our box. Especially if you've already have it filled in with color, it's best to like make a copy of it. And on that like make a copy of it in black and white if you can, and then trace over it, or put it on a light pad, put a sheet of paper on top and trace over it with pencil first. And then once you kind of have it, trace over it with the Sharpie and then scan that one. But once you have those black lines and preferably nothing in the background, like it's very light, closer to being like white. Even it might come in sometimes as gray, but as long as you have those sharp black lines, it will pick up, and then you're just going to hit trace, and then you're able to color it in. If you're looking to have areas shaded in, you're not going to be able to do that in Silhouette Studio. Now, if you have simply designed it, you've colored it, and you want to take that picture, like already colored in and everything, exactly how you drew it out, and sublimate it, all you have to do is bring it in and then do a trace and detach. So that's all you have to do for that. So like we'll move this off to the side. So this is how yours would be. It might have like some specks and things here and there, but you can always get rid of those afterwards. And I always like to just fill it in with any color, you know, to begin with. And then once you release compound path, you are able to fill in areas with color. So here, this didn't fill in because I had a break and I can see exactly where that break was. So I didn't take my transparency. I didn't take my threshold up high enough, but this one isn't that bad because I'm going to take this piece right here because it's a straggly piece anyway. I'm going to put that right there. And then I'm going to weld it and then release compound path. And now it fills in to where I can change the color of that. Make my outline black. Send it to the back. You know, and then I can color it in how I see fit. This piece right here. Oh, there's an opening somewhere on her eye right there. So we're going to take a little small piece and I need it bigger than that. Whatever. Oh, wait, I've already, okay, so actually I'm going to take that piece and here, and we're going to subtract. There we go. And now this can be filled in with color. So you would have to do your design like that, depending on like if you're wanting to fill it in with color, like in Silhouette Studio. I want it to be a lighter brown, but yeah, that's what you have to do for that. Do the cameos print and cut the full length of the mat, or is limited to like Cricut? No, it's definitely not. You can cut up to 12 by 24 inches. Well, within reason, right? Because you have to still account for the registration marks. But no, you are not limited in the size that you can print. I've sent banner prints to my Roland. Like if I don't need to cut it, I've sent banner prints directly from Silhouette Studio to the Roland. You don't need, there's no limitation in how big you can print. But for print and cut, Okay, what happened? Okay, there we go. If I wanted to make her as big as the Mont, and I had 12 by 24-inch paper, most times I'm doing like 11 by 17, sometimes 12 by 18, although I don't really like the 12 by 18 paper that I have now. And then we're going to go to on. All right. So I can literally take her up here and I can max her out. Here, she will print completely within like this. The Cameo would cut her out completely. However, if I wanted to max her out to the size of my paper, I can bring her down as long as I stay within the print border. And I stay away from the registration marks. All right, so let's bring her down just a little because it looks like her pom-pom is in the restrictive area. I can make her this big to where she's maxed out. What would happen is right here, this little piece, and the bottom of her shoe would not cut. I would have to manually cut them, but it will still register. It will still cut everything else. I just would have to manually cut right here, and I think some of her top pom-pom is out too. Yeah, right there and right there. And that's it. It does get simple. You just have to practice. It's even about being professional. You just have to practice, like do it on repeat. It doesn't matter if it's the same exact image and you have to do that same exact image 50 times. Each time you do it, it should become easier and easier and easier, and you get it done faster each time. It just takes practice. Like you just got to keep doing it. It has to be repetitive. I think I'm going to have to cash app you $5 again for the knowledge. Thank you again. You are very welcome, J-Rock. I have an Epson Workforce 7520, has regular ink. Any special steps before converting it to pigment ink? And pigment ink is good for photo printing, right? Most Workforce printers are already, okay. When you are buying pigment ink from a third-party company, you are simply making it more affordable. It's more economical, which is why I have that. I think I have it like written as like cost effective. So if I go to pigment ink, let's see, Workforce 7520. If it doesn't already use pigment ink, it's not a good idea to try and switch it to pigment ink because your colors are going to be off. So let's see, Epson Workforce. Oh, 7520. That uses Dura-Brite ink. So that's actually already a 7520. Hold on, let's see. Because it was 76 before. So I don't think I've ever heard of 7520. Let me see. 7820. I don't think, I was like, I've never heard of a 7520. Okay, wait, here's a 75. So it's an old school. And if you have a 7520, that's a really old school one. And let's see, which ink does it use? It uses, okay, let's see, 7520. Now, the challenge is going to be finding someone that sells the ink, like those cartridges, for you to switch it. But if you're buying those cartridges, hold on, waiting for it to move shimmy its little way over. All right, it's acting crazy. Give me a moment. Okay, come on. What is going on here? What in the world is going on? What in the world is going on? Oh, I don't know. My computer's frozen, y'all. I have no idea what the heck is happening. Hold on. Let's do Control Alt Delete. I can't even do that. Alrighty. Whoa. All right. All right. Hold on. What is going on here? All right. Let's see if, okay, I'm just going to open it up over here. Let's see if this screen works. Okay, it does. Epson Workforce 7520. It's already pigment ink. So if you come here, look, it uses Durabright Ultra Pigment Ink. So you're already using pigment ink with the cartridges you have in there. You don't convert. It's not like sublimation. You don't convert a printer to pigment ink. Some printers are already pigment ink printers. Using the third party, it's a more economical option. So like with mine, I put on there, what does it say on there? Dang it, where's my little fly out thingy that comes up? I've changed these. So let's go back over here. I think I put on there cost effective. If I go over to here, see, it's to transform print to sublimation or cost effective pigment. So the printers are already that. You're just not buying expensive Epson cartridges. So you have to find a company that sells that cartridge number, because all the cartridges are not the same. Okay. So this particular one uses, oh, I have no idea what the heck these are. So right here, 126 or 127s. I don't know of too many places that sell those. You would have to find a vendor that sells the refillable 126 or 127 ink cartridges. And then you would be able to simply go to once you found the ink cartridge, whether they are single use or if they are auto reset, you would then be able to go to our site and purchase pigment ink. Like you would just need the ink from us. You cannot use any of our cartridges in that particular printer. But yes, what you're using now is pigment. All right, my kid said he's ready. He's supposed to be at these people's house at 2. And my last download is done. So I am out of here, guys. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. Don't forget to visit the website shop.hsink365.com. That is where you will find your pigment ink that you can use in your already pigment ink printer. It's just more cost effective, or you can convert it into sublimation with our sublimation ink. The bottles are 140 milliliters. And then, of course, our incredible sublimation paper that allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees and as fast as 30 seconds. So shop.hsink365.com. As you can see, we do take Sezzle. Then you also have the shop pay for payment installments, and you can apply for for PayPal's Shop Now, Pay Later as well. You can use all those payment options, no matter if you are getting ink, paper, If you're purchasing any classes, that's still available for you guys to use Sezzle for the classes as well. All right, y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.